Hello everybody, how are you? Welcome to Coffee with the Coach with me, Katie Hawkins from KH Coaching and Therapies. How are you all today? I hope you've had a wonderful week since we've last been together. Let me know, say hi if you're watching and let me know where you're watching from and let me know how your week has been. I've had a very enjoyable week. We was at the beach on the weekend for one of my cousin's birthdays. We also had a lush day out over at the Forest of Dean for my mum's birthday. So I've had a lush week we've spent with lots of family. So yeah, let me know how your week has been. And if you're new to Coffee with the Coach, it's a new thing. So welcome, come on in. And if you're new, say hey and let me know where you're watching from. Also, if you could share the love, that would be great. So if you know somebody who could benefit from watching these lives or any of the lives, then you can tag them into the comments, or you can simply press share and then that sprinkles me out there and like I say, it shares the love. So if you could do that, I would be massively grateful. So I'm not gonna wait too long because like I say, those that watch it back on replay, they don't want to be sat here, sat watching me, waiting for people to come on. But when you do come on, please say hey. Today's topic, I have got some notes just to keep me on track. So if you see me looking to the side, that is why. But today is episode 2 with Coffee with the Coach, and we are talking about the most common traps that people make or fall into in their life. Now, I like to think of life as a journey, and throughout our journey, we could fall into these traps, and sometimes we don't even know about it. But it's like, particularly in where I live, there's lots of potholes, and it's like hitting those potholes. It's the same with life and our journey. We might hit those traps, those holes, those loops, those potholes. And sometimes they can't be avoided and other times they can. So I thought today we could explore the most common traps that people make or fall into. So as I go through these, if there is any of these that you go, yeah, I'm guilty of that, or yeah, I've came across that, then please share and let me know, if you have, and if so, which ones of these traps that you have fallen into. The reason I ask you to share with me is because you'll see that 9 times out of 10 you're not the only one. You will find that other people have come across these traps or fallen into these traps themselves, and I think it kind of makes us just kind of go, okay, we know we're not the only one. But when you hear other people say, yeah, I've been there, yeah, I've done that, you understand that you're not the only one, and it kind of brings a bit of comfort, I think. So let's dive into them, and like I say, if any of them resonate with you, please share and let me know. And if you think of any that I may not have thought of, then please share them with me. It's like there's lots of wise people out there, so share your wisdom. This is a place where we can it's not just about me bringing what I can bring to the table. If you've got something to share, please share it with the group too. So, make yourself visible. Last time we spoke about self-sabotaging and stuff, and not a lot of people like being visible, so they do hide themselves away, which used to be me. But I'm pushing through that, and I'm here live with you guys. So let's dive in. So one of the most common traps that we make or that we may hit along our life journey is playing the victim. How many of you guys have played the victim? Now, don't get me wrong. I understand that things happen to us within our lives that we really wish didn't happen, okay? That could be anything from violence, abuse, injury, that's just to name a few. So there are things that happen to us that we really wish didn't happen. But when I say playing the victim, what I mean here is that sometimes these incidents, they're not our fault, and you need to learn that it's not your fault that such a thing has happened to you. This being said, there are times when you need to accept responsibility for what has happened to you, and it can vary on the circumstance. There's been times in my life where things have happened completely out of my control, and I just had to accept that wasn't my fault. But then there's other times where I've gone, you need to take responsibility there. That outcome could have been different had I. So that's why when I say playing the victim, it's those times where you need to take responsibility for yourself, where some people are too quick to go, it was their fault, they said, they did. But we have to remember, this is something I say to my children pretty much every day, is we have a choice. We choose how we act, think, feel, what we say and what we do. There is always a choice. Like I said, there are times things happen to us, like we could have been in a car accident and had an injury. That's not your fault. You can't take the blame for that. But like I say, sometimes we do need to take responsibility for putting ourselves in certain situations, or responding in certain situations, or not leaving certain situations. That's where we need to take a look and take responsibility for ourselves. It's hard to, it is hard to, but when you do it and you learn, it's so empowering. You're giving that power back to yourself instead of giving it over to that person saying, well, you did this. You're giving your personal power away. Why would you do that? It's really empowering to take a look and kind of go, yeah, I need to take my responsibility in that. And like I say, it's hard. It is hard to do, but when you do it, and the more you do it, you'll find it becomes really empowering. So number one is playing the victim. The other common trap that we tend to fall into is bitterness. And okay, again, in life, you may have been treated really badly, really poorly by someone, but what is done is done. Let's just say, let's just say you was in an abusive relationship, and then you've got out of that relationship. You have two choices. You can be bitter about that and hold on to that resentment, or you can kind of go, right, that's it, I'm safe, I'm out of it, and you move forward. Okay, the question that you need to ask yourself is, whatever the scenario may be, and it could be any scenario when it comes to bitterness and things like that, is, can I let go of this? Is question number one. And if you say, no, I can't let go of this, then question number two is holding on to this serving me? What do I gain from holding on to this bitterness? And if you find an answer, then okay. But 9 times out of 10, you will find it doesn't serve me to hold on to this bitterness. It doesn't propel me forward in any way. If anything, it just adds a massive burden to your life. So should I let it go? Can I let it go? Yeah, probably I should. Life can be stressful enough without having the burden of holding bitterness against something that happened to you, or against somebody because of the way that they're treating you. Again, you have a choice. Do you allow this person to live in your head rent free, or do you let it go? And it's like when you finally let go, it's like a weight's been lifted off your shoulder. So number two is bitterness, which is a common trap that a lot of us, and myself in the past, these have come up because these are traps that I have personally fallen into myself. So that's number two. Number three is caring too much about what other people say or think about you. What's important is what you think about you and how you talk about yourself. Now, there are some times when you might hear lots of people say the same thing about you and over again. If that's the case, sit with it and assess it and go, for an example, I'm trying to think of something it could be, but you might think you're having banter with somebody, but really you're being quite offensive to somebody. If someone keeps saying, your jokes, they're a bit too personal, that you know you're upsetting a lot of people, then sit with it and think like, okay, a lot of people are saying the same thing, and sit with it and assess it. But generally speaking, don't worry too much about what people think or say about you. What's important is what you say to yourself and how you feel about yourself. So my tip is, try not to worry about too much about what people think about you. Again, this is something that I've had to work through myself. It doesn't serve us. It doesn't do us anything. If anything, it makes us, our self-esteem lower. We've become less confident. It doesn't serve us. It stunts our growth. It can make us become quite closed off. So that was number 3. Number 4 is not learning from our experiences. Now, I personally believe, and it's okay if you don't feel the same way, I personally believe if you do not learn from your experiences, you're going to get given the same lesson time and time again until you do learn from your lesson. Again, hold the hands up, I've been there. So in school, if you think of school, what happens is we learn a lesson, we go to our lessons, we learn the lessons, and then at the end of the year, we're given a test. But in life, it's very different. In fact, it's the other way around. So in life, we're first given a test, and then from that test, we then learn our lessons, or we're supposed to learn our lessons. So the experience that we gain is the lessons that we have learned from that experience, from that test. So I would advise you is, don't fall into the trap of not learning from your experiences, not learning from your lessons, because you'll probably find you'll just fall into those same tests time and time again. And the reason is because you didn't learn from the first time. If you had learned, you wouldn't be in that situation again. So I hope that makes sense. So again, if any of these resonate with you, please do, let me know. You might find one of them do, you might find all of them do. Number 5, and this can be a tricky one, but number 5, one of the most common traps that we fall into is failing to move on, failing to move forward. This one can take time. You can't just, do this like that. So most of us in our life will have had an event of some kind that has been really hard, really painful for us to move forward from. And around this event, you might find things like bitterness, regrets about something, or, your dreams might have been destroyed. We could go on and on. There's many emotions and feelings that can kind of come around the event that's happened to you personally. So I'm just going to go slightly off track here, but you'll make sense. It will make sense. So to give you a bit of insight about failing to move on, let's just say, when you get like a cut on your skin, our body grows a protective shield and that covers it. We call it a scab. So you've got this cut and you've got this protective shield that grows over it, your scab. This is your body's own natural bandage, and it's there to serve a good purpose. Like you say, it's a protective shield, and within time, when it's healed, the scab will just come away. In a similar way, in a period of time, we heal from the events, from the traumas, and then we're ready to move on. But all you need to do is let yourself heal. And to let yourself heal, you need to take time and take the appropriate steps. So like I say, the cut on our skin, our body's natural healing mechanism is to form a protective shield, a scab. It does its own thing, and then within time it sorts. It's the similar kind of scenario when you are dealing with events and traumas. We can put things in place, take the appropriate steps needed, and give ourselves time. What we don't want to do is we don't want to be stuck and failing to move forward, because then we are stuck in this bubble, so to say, and you're going to continue to have those feelings of bitterness, regret, because it's just festering, because we're not putting the appropriate steps in to move forward, or we're not giving ourselves the time that's needed to heal, like I say, just like the scenario with the cut. So I hope that those 5 common mistakes have given you some food for thought. Either you can relate to them, or you might kind of go, oh yeah, okay, so I've been, for an example, I've been playing the victim mode, but I didn't realise whatever it may be. So I hope that from today's live, it gives you some food for thought. And like I say, if you can resonate with any of those 5 common mistakes that I've mentioned today, like I say, these are from what I've personally been through. You might have your own, and like I say, if you do, please share with me. I would love for you guys to, you know, communicate with me, communicate with the group, because it's really beneficial, because then people start saying, if somebody who goes out there and says, yes, for example, I'm guilty of, you know, not learning from my experiences, not learning from my mistakes, you then start to see people around you go, yeah, me too, and then you realise you're not on your own. And it's a first step on helping each other grow, is by acknowledging, you know, what you have been through and the correct steps that you can take to move yourself forward, to release, you know, to give yourself that time. So please share with me what it is that, you know, you find has been a common trap for you, because you might find, like I say, other people say, yeah, I've been there too. That's something that I've personally been through. So again, not a super long live. I don't want to be on here too long, especially as I'm just starting this Coffee with the Coach. You know, I'm building rapport with you guys. You guys are meeting me for the first time, maybe. I'm getting introduced to you guys for the first time. And we all have busy lives. You know, for those of you who have took time out of your day to be here with me today, I'm so grateful. For those of you who are catching up later on replay, again, I'm massively grateful. So I try and keep my lives short and sweet so that I don't take up too much of your time, because I understand, you know, you've got kids to look after, errands to run, jobs to do, but at the same time I want to just give you flashes of insight or knowledge, or just be here with you, connect with you, grow with you, and stuff like that. So like I said, I like to keep them short and sweet. As we go on, you'll probably find we'll dive in deeper into stuff, and as the group grows and more comments come in, you might find that the lives get a little bit longer. But so that's it from me today. I really appreciate you being here. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for sharing if you have shared. And I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday here in this group at 2 o'clock with another episode of Coffee with the Coach. Bye.